Hi, I want to welcome you to T Rose Quilting. My name is Jennifer.
And I'm Taylor.
We're so glad you decided to join us today. We want to share with you what we've been up to lately, and I actually have 4 finishes to share with you today. How about you, Taylor?
I think I have about 4 too.
All right, let's get started. The first one is this vintage quilt behind us. This has feed sack fabrics from the 1920s, 1930s. Dawn and Marva did an all over meander, a really tight one, because this quilt was originally hand quilted. And by them doing a tight quilting job on it by machine, it will add to the strength of the quilt top so that this quilt will be able to be enjoyed by generations. This actually belongs to my husband's coworker, and I want to thank him for giving me the opportunity to be included in this project to save this quilt. My next finish is Taylor's Nanny's Garden quilt that she wanted completed. I think you're gonna love the quilting job on this. Taylor picked out this flower swirl. Dawn and Marva did it in a light pink color, and it turned out so cheery and happy. Taylor picked out the backing fabric and the binding for it. Taylor's quilt actually came out of the book Scrap Basket by Kim Brackett. And here is a picture of the original quilt. And this is actually going to be today's giveaway, is a copy of this book, Scrap Basket. So all you'll have to do to be entered is be a subscriber and leave a comment that says book. Speaking of winners, Taylor, can you tell us about our winner from last Quilt Tube?
Our winner is Rose Hickson 2790. To claim your prize, DM us on Instagram.
Congratulations, Rose. My next finish is a quilt by Kim Deal called Morning Glories. I actually took a class on this about 15 years ago from the Gathering Place in Rupert, and I learned how to do this wool applique. I'm so glad to finally have this finished and off the to-do list pile. I was able to pick up the Valdani thread I needed from Amazon. This is a collection from Kim Deal. And now that this is finished, we can hold it up. Dawn and Marva, from the back, Dawn and Marva just outlined all my wool pieces from the front for the quilting job. They went around all the circles, the vines, all my lines, and I think they did a fabulous job. My final finish from since last time we met is this Wash Tub Garden by Kim Deal. I love what she did with the yo-yos. I find this incredibly interesting, the layout. And I have a love of yo-yos, so I thought it'd be really cool to show you some of the different yo-yo projects I have. Taylor, if you'll show them the back. Dawn and Marva did a fabulous job of going around all of my yo-yos. They didn't go across any of them. Again, they kind of did a meander all over. So the first yo-yo quilt that I wanted to show you is actually family treasure from my husband's side of the family. His aunt gave this to him before she passed. The aunts and uncles actually made this for my husband's grandmother before she passed. And as you can see, they did a pink border along the edge here. And then inside, it's all scrappy. I wish I could describe to you the weight of this quilt. It is so heavy. And we actually don't use it. I have it on display because I would hate for this quilt to tear because, like I said, it's really heavy. Taylor and I are gonna hold it up a little longer so you can see some of the individual fabrics. It really is scrappy. showed you wasn't that old, maybe about 50 years. The next two that I'm gonna show you are much older. These are probably 40s, 50s. Now you're gonna see two of them because I actually received this from Grandma Barbara. She had given me this yo-yo quilt and it needed a lot of love and attention. It had actually started being torn apart from the weight and it was incredibly dirty. So I had to sit there and hand stitch every single yo-yo back together. It took me years of hand stitching. And once I was done, I then had to soak it multiple times to get out all the dirt and grime. But it's beautiful now. It used to be a king size. Now it's about 2 twin sizes. And my mother is going to display it on a matching bunk bed in her house. But I want to say thank you to Grandma Barbara for sharing this beautiful quilt. We really do love Grandma Barbara, and she is such an amazing grandma. Our next one is actually something that she made for Taylor when Taylor was a young girl, about 6 or 7. And these are little doll yo-yo matching quilts. And Taylor, do you want to show yours? And I'll show this one here. Again, all this done by hand. And look at the fabric choices she picked. I love how fun it is for a young little girl. And then here's the backing fabric. She also made Taylor these cute little pillows. Look at the fussy cutting she did on the center of these. Here's the backing fabric on it. Taylor was such a lucky young girl. When she had her 18-inch dolls. She used to love Fancy Nancy and all of the American Girl dolls. So for our grand finale is my mother's yo-yo quilt that I made for her because I love her so much. And it is from Kim Deal, the pattern. This took me about 15 years of hand stitching all of these yo-yos. I was able to get the 2 borders on. My mother picked out the fabric. She really wanted the pinks to show. And then we were thinking we would do this pink again for the binding and then this border fabric for the backing. But since she saw it last, she's thinking that this border might be a little too boring and that we maybe need some darker colors in it. You'll have to let us know what you think. But we might be changing this out. So my mother, when she comes back next, is gonna look at some other options and see if we're sticking with this. If I ever did this again, I would not piece the backing, the creams. That was so much work and I wasn't sure it was worth the effort to do that. And the matching up is very difficult because as you're stitching all of these yo-yos, you're stretching the fabric out. And so when it's time to actually match your points, it's incredibly hard. Barbara did hers with a solid cream background. That's the way to go. Really, if you're gonna make this, I would suggest doing what Barbara did. But I love how this isn't an old quilt at all. It doesn't have old fabrics. It has lots of reproduction fabrics. It's very scrappy, but it has such an aged old look to it. And I think that's what's so cool about it. And it's going to age beautifully. Again, I wish you could feel the weight of these. These are heavy, right, Taylor?
Yes, very.
Yes. The first time Taylor felt this, she was like, wow, this is so heavy. So you really do notice like the weight of it. But I told my mother she is allowed to only display this. She was talking about maybe one of the grandkids would like sit on this with a popsicle or something. And I was like, no, you're gonna hang it up or something like that. Keep it away from the grandkids because this is really gonna be a treasure one day. And it needs to be well taken care of because not all of these fabrics are color safe. I had to wash some spots on a few of these and some of the fabrics did want to bleed. And so this is one that I don't want to have to get washed. So we thought we would show you some of the different yo-yo quilts here so you can have an idea of some of the differences, what you can do with yo-yos. But I just love these treasures. So unique and different. And to be honest, you don't see a lot of yo-yo quilts anymore. So I want to say thank you again to Grandma Barbara for getting us started on this journey because she loves yo-yos and I think she's the one who got me started on this. So it's all her fault. I hope you enjoyed seeing our finishes and enjoying some of the yo-yo quilts. I thought I would talk about my plans next. So my mother has a laundry list of quilts she would like me to make her. She is not a quilter, but she enjoys coming to visit me and saying, oh, make me this, this, and this. It's quite fun. The first quilt I'm planning on working on is using this panel. It's from All Things Above by Fancy That. I was able to get a jelly roll to go with it. And as you probably know by now, my mother loves more pinks and burgundy, so she wanted a few more of those included. So I picked out other fabrics from Fancy that aren't included in the things above line that I can add in. So I'm hoping to have that one done soon.
When I first saw that panel, I was putting together a lesson for my church class, and I saw the quote and thought it would be really good to go with my lesson, and everyone loved it as a visual aid.
My next project that I'm hoping to be able to be successful is getting this nativity panel completed. Dawn and Marva are going to quilt this for me. I actually have 2 of them, and I want to get them done in time to give to my mother before the holiday, so that way she can display it this Christmas season. So if you're wondering why you're seeing it so early, it's because I actually want to get it to her done for her birthday so then she can display it in December. The next project I have going has nothing to do with my mother, actually with Taylor. This one came from, again, Grandma Barbara. She got me started on this cherry quilt. So this is going to be some of the borders and binding, but I have got all of my stems stitched down, all of my cherries and leaves ironed, but now I need to go around and stitch around those leaves and the cherries still. But I do have all of my blocks pieced and ready to go. So I'm hoping next time I see you, I actually have this top done. I think it's gonna be great for summer, so I need to get on this one pronto.
Yeah, I really like it. I love the colors and the design.
One project that I thought would be fun to share with you, I'm actually not planning on working on it this year. I'm actually gonna tuck it away for a while, but is the St. Patrick's Day quilt. I love the scrappy fabrics, and then I picked this fabric out for my backing, and it already comes with the binding in the kit, which is this one right here. And I was able to pick this up at JK Quilts in Meridian, Idaho. One project that I've been having a hard time finishing is my Old Glory by Blackbird Designs. This is my working pattern. I unfortunately ran out of my backing fabric, and it's a Blackbird Designs fabric from years and years ago, and I don't have enough to finish it, which is horrible because you cannot find this anywhere online at all anymore. So Grandma Barbara sent some options to see if we could find something that would be semi-close to it in the mail, help me finish it. But inside, she included a little surprise, which I thought you would love to see. Inside, she included this beautiful eagle because she knows I love patriotic. And I squealed when I saw this, and we were talking on the phone, and I thought you would love to see it as well. He would look so cute, fussy cut out to put inside my embroidery purse, or even if I just left it as a centerpiece, a medallion inside a quilt. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I just think it's fabulous. So thank you, Grandma Barbara, for including that. I just love getting something in the mail. I think everybody does. And then to have a little surprise in there, that's the best. Something you weren't expecting. Talking about things I thought you would like to see, I wanted to show you this really neat cheese dish I recently acquired. It's from Scotland, and it was made in about the 19th century. And before they had plastic, they would use these cheese dishes to keep your cheese from drying out and to also keep it from spreading odors. If you see, there's a hole on the top right up here, and that was to discourage mold from growing on your cheese. And I just thought that was such a neat piece. And inside, it included some details about the cheese dish when we got it on eBay. So anyway, it's such a pretty piece that we actually posted it on our Instagram, and we'll include a picture at the end. Next, I thought I would show you a sample for Salli's shop. This is an Easter panel that I had a lot of fun adhering rhinestones to make it pop a little, add some bling, because I am ready for spring to be here and enjoy the sun, the grass start getting greener, everything getting warmer. And I also found this fabulous vintage putz house. It says Happy Easter on it. And I just thought it was too cool. Taylor forgot to show the backing, and it's so soft on the back. This is her favorite part. We used a minky on it. We got a question last video in the comments about how often I sew. So my Aunt Karen had a friend who suggested you do 15 minutes a day. You try to find 15 minutes no matter what. And I thought that was great. I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. So I always try to find at least 15 minutes in the day. That doesn't mean it always happens, but that's my goal. And usually when you find 15 minutes, it can turn into a little bit more. I also try to make sure that I just leave my project out right where I'm working on it. So I don't put everything away. If I'm cutting out, I just stop what I'm doing, make a mark so I know, and I just leave everything there so that when I come back, I can jump right into it, because I found if I pulled everything out, then put it away, then I didn't want to pull it out again. And so I try to leave things out where I can work on them. And 15 minutes is usually doable. If I can, sometimes in the evenings is best for me, or first thing in the morning. So that gives you an idea of how I get a lot of my projects done. I try to fit them into small increments of time. All right, so Taylor, you want to show us what you've been up to?
So first we're going to start with my crocheted flowers. I made these 2 daisies, and I've actually made a lot more, but I put them in a gift card bouquet for my friend's birthday, so I'll actually put up a photo of that. But then my mom wanted some for her display, so far I've only gotten 2, but here are the first 2 for her decorations.
Woo, I love it.
Then my Aunt Karen requested 2 lavender bouquets, 1 lavender and 1 pink, so they're all kind of combined right now, but I've just got these couple, so I made these for her.
Her Aunt Karen is her best customer. She's always placing special orders.
Yeah. Then for a Young Ones activity, we learned how to embroider. I haven't gotten too far because it's kind of just been sitting on my desk and I've done other things, but this is what I've gotten so far. I've learned how to do a French knot and to make the little flower, and I think it's really cute. I think it's really therapeutic and just fun to listen to music or watch a movie to do. So I think I might work on this more, but we'll see in 6 weeks. My mom's been asking me to make her crochet blankets or just start making granny squares so we can get somewhere. So I actually, when I was at a friend's house, I decided to make one. And this is my first ever granny square, and this is a little bow one. So I just sewed a little bow on, and I think it's really cute. It's not the best, but obviously I'm going to improve. So yeah, that's my first granny square.
I keep telling her my living room needs a crocheted granny square quilt in it. I think that would really add something.
One night, my mom and I were watching YouTube videos when we scrolled upon a video that taught you how to make forget-me-not flowers. So I started making a couple, but as I got further in, I realized I needed small little wires so I could have the main stem and then them coming out on the sides. And I was going to continue, but I didn't know I had small stems until I looked at my big stems and at the bottom with these little ones. So I'm going to start working on these now that I know that I have the right supplies. I showed on the Quilt Tube, don't remember how many videos ago, a cute little frog with a tutu, and I had so much fun making that one that I decided to make another one with a purple tutu. So I think these are really cute and it's really easy, and so yeah, I just have another one. Now, saving best for last, I made this cute little blueberry cow, and I'm really proud of it. I've made cows before, but this one I did entirely on my own, no help from a friend or anything. And so I'm just really proud of this cute cow because it turned out really good, and it's got a cute little tail on the back, and I just think it's really amazing. I'm really proud of myself for this one.
Well, I can't wait to see Taylor's floral bouquets next time we meet. Which, talking about next time we meet, we are going to be hitting our 1-year mark on our next Quilt Tube, which will be pretty exciting. We cannot wait. We also thought it was pretty exciting when we were looking at our viewership, and we saw that we actually have some German viewers. So we wanted to say welcome.
Willkommen. I don't know if I can do that.
We think that's pretty exciting. It's actually really neat when you can see what other countries are watching you. We wanted to remind Rose to reach out to us on Instagram, and then also to remind you about our giveaway this video. You just need to be a subscriber and leave the comment book to be able to win Scrap Basket. All right, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again in 6 weeks. Bye.
Bye.